Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, your favorite Star Trek podcast. This is episode
391.
391.
Ooh.
Holy shit.
Woo.
391, having fun. My name is Caitlin, and with me today are...
Jake?
Chris.
Oh boy. Jeez.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wow. I was trying to make sure that was Jake. This is Ames.
And this is Caitlin.
And Jake.
And Vogue?
And we're here. And we're done.
Excuse me. So today we're talking about Deep Space Nine. I wish. We're talking about Discovery, Season 2, Episode 7, Light and Shadows. I feel like it was kind of like a lot happening this week.
And yet
And then nothing.
And
Yeah,
yet
exactly.
nothing.
A lot and
It's-
nothing.
We had
It's
a
setting up.
classic A and B plot,
Yeah.
which is kind of nice.
Yeah, but they had
Was it?
nothing to do
Was
with
it
each
nice?
other, which is annoying.
They don't have to.
No, but I like
But-
it when... I prefer it when there's at least some
I
connection.
mean,
And not a
I
pineapple
feel like
cake
the
to be
connection,
seen.
they're working towards the connection, because right now it kind of seems like the Section 31 stuff and the Red Angel stuff is, like, it's connected, but it's like...
Yeah, I guess
Not.
you're right. They're kind of doing the serial thing, really, is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, we haven't even done the
All
subject
right,
yet, sorry.
all right. Michael's taken off in a shuttle to go visit Mom and Dad to see if she can figure out where Spock is at. And Captain Daddy is probing a probe to...
Hot?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Fisting. Like coughing. Yeah, they're probing a probe. They're trying to figure... I don't remember even why they're doing it.
There
was
was an
a-
anomaly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Time shit happened.
Time keeps on slipping.
Slipping.
Into your butthole.
Oh, okay.
Slipping.
I was gonna be like, Chris, slap him for me, will you?
Mm-mm.
I had to stop her screaming.
He could kick my ass.
Come on now, snap out of it. So, you know, in Airplane, when they're all lining up to beat the shit out of that one woman who, like, won't stop screaming. Oh, no, but I was quoting Clue. I had to stop her screaming.
That's right.
Anyway, slapping women to stop them screaming. Good or bad? Let's weigh in, Ames.
Does she consent?
Yes.
Oh, then
Chris.
absolutely.
If she consents, sure.
All right, fine. Jake?
Slapping? Violence is never the answer.
What's the question?
The question was, should you slap a woman?
Okay, we're off the rails already. We're one sentence into
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah, but that's basically it. We're probing a probe. Ash and Pike are button heads. Pike's like, I don't trust you. And Ash is like, you just need to prove that you're a big man because you skipped out on going to war and now you have to show everybody how big your balls are. And Captain Pike's like, wow, that was...
Cornwell here? What's going on?
I have to call my mom. Oh. So Ash nails it.
Mm-hmm.
So more importantly though, shit happens. They get lost in the fucking time rift. Tilly tells us that putting the word time in front of everything makes it sound cooler. So they get time stuck in a time rift in their time shuttle, and they have to be time transported out of the time rift back to the time discovery. But thankfully, Stamets has got some fucking
Time
Time
power.
DNA.
time DNA. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Time
about that.
degrade.
And time degrade, that's good. And much like a Vulcan in the second season of TOS, my man keeps finding new powers.
Yeah.
They're like, well, let's see, time, the mycelial network. This is becoming like a Val Kilmer solving like a riddle in fucking Batman Forever.
Mr.
Enigma.
Tardigrade.
Tardigrade. Son of a bitch. Tardigrade. Oh, fuck me. Anyway, so they're like, surely he can use his fucking magic to find them, even though we've lost them in the time rift.
I can, but don't call me Shirley.
Did I say Shirley?
You did.
Yes! I didn't even mean to. This
I
is
clapped it.
perfect.
I was like, oh, I saw Chris perk up.
Chris has got it. Chris is on that. Good. Well, I'm just glad nobody dropped the ball, because I didn't even realize I had fucking thrown that softball. So anyway, so that's what's happening there, and it's really just Ash and Pike are friends now, I guess. But more importantly, Michael goes home to see Sarek and Amanda, and I keep wanting to call Amanda Nicole. It's not right.
Why?
Spock ever married to a Nicole?
No.
He should have been, you know? Should have gone for it. I don't know. Anyway, She goes, and she's like, so, Mom, you haven't seen Spock, have you? And Amanda's like, no! And Michael's like, Amanda, you've never lied to me before, and that's how I know you're lying to me now. That's it. That's my Michael impression.
The magic words.
Nice. So it turns out that Amanda's been harboring Spock, and we also reveal that he had time dyslexia.
No, space dyslexia.
Shit. Time and space dyslexia.
Spacelexia.
Sexlexia. And Latokterai. Sounds very... Klingon. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But yeah, so it turns out, on top of being already imperfect with his half-humanness, he's also got himself some special needs. Can you say that?
Hanging out in the face cave.
You say special needs?
Good God, that cave.
And it's like, I like that, because it's a humanizing thing. Kind of, and it maybe explains. I don't know. But anyway, regardless of his space dyslexia, right now he's fucking space and time catatonic, and he's fucking saying the first, what was it, the first sequence? No.
The first two...
The first doctrines of logic.
Doctrines, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Ames.
4, 8, 15, 16, 21, 42.
He just keeps doing it over and over again, and they're like, he needs a doctor, and they decide that they'll turn him into Section 31, and Amanda's like, I'm not going to let you do that to my son, and Sarek shows up and is like, wife, you've lied to me, and I'm fine with that. However, Leland is the only person... Leland is the person outside of this room who has the most vested interest in getting Spock healthy again, so let's go fucking turn him over to Section 31, I guess.
Wow, Sarek.
What a fucking fascist. Worst dad ever.
What the fuck, dude?
Worst dad ever.
Logical? Yes. Good idea?
Terrible.
This totally explains Spock and Sarek's relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Though, right?
It's
Remember that
100%.
time you gave me to Section 31 so they could melt my brain?
Well, you were embarrassing the shit out of me, so I figured either they were going to fix you or kill you, and either way, you wouldn't be my problem anymore. Though he did have that nice, very un-Vulcan line of, like, I am not prepared to lose both my children today. And I was like, no, that was good, Sarek.
He almost lost it, too.
Yeah, he's good. I like Sarek. I like this Sarek.
But you notice he says both my children? Is he forgetting someone?
Nope.
No. That is on purpose. He does not acknowledge that little bastard at all. Oh, yeah, and don't forget at the end, she realizes his dyslexia, he's saying numbers backwards, and they're going to Talos 4.
So it's not even... Oh, yeah, I did forget about that, because it was a big deal. But that said, it's not dyslexia, then. It's dyscalculia. Dyscalculia is the one that is a mess up with numbers.
It was just fucking stupid, is what it was. Was there any reason...
Well, and also, dyslexia isn't reading words backwards. It's like... Yeah. It's not at all what it is. It is kind of like a really stupid dumbing down and cheapening of the issue. Like, he's got... It turns out that... Latokterai actually is like the word for mirror brain. He's got mirror brain.
I mean,
it might. I wonder what it does translate to in Vulcan.
It's like, he keeps writing red rum on the wall.
It probably translates to something politically entirely incorrect. Because you
Vulcans.
feel like absolutely the Vulcans would like call him the worst word for for intellectually disabled that they could come up with.
They are definitely completely okay with the R slur on Vulcan.
Big time.
So this episode was like just 2 different filler plots. But before we get to that, I did very much also just Amanda and Sarek's whole like argument was great.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, you're like, oh, man, this is Vulcan. They are basically screaming at one another.
Yeah.
And the fact that they wrote it that way and performed it that way was just spot on.
Yeah, I do like the actor that's playing Sarek. He's
good.
He's great.
Also, we see where Spock gets his sass from, because she's like, as the ambassador's wife, I have the power to blah, blah, blah. And he's like, not if the ambassador disagrees. And he just shows up, and I was like, oh, you sassy bitch.
I tried to do a fancy snap, but I fucked up.
And you do the fancy slap while doing the Vulcan salute.
Probably not.
I don't think anybody can do that. It's illogical.
I ended up doing this.
Ooh, devil horns.
Quiet coyote.
It's funny, though. Basically, like, I do love that thing, like you said, where Amanda's like, no! She might as well have been actively shoving him in a closet while she said no.
Yeah, hip bumping him. No, I haven't seen him! Why are you acting like that? Oh, I hurt my back.
I hit him in a tomb?
Yeah, I mean, the whole going to Vulcan and talking to Amanda... Like, the whole
She's been acting pretty fishy this whole time, to be fair.
Sure, but, like, the whole scene of Michael and like being like, I know that you were lying. It just felt very plot convenience. Like there should have been
something. Anything.
There should have been some challenge to figuring out where Spock was. Like maybe she follows. Like we see that Michael like sees that Amanda's being weird.
Oh yeah, like Amanda sneaks out under cover of darkness or something.
Yeah, and
where is Spock pooping?
I mean,
there's some urns down there, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Great grandpappy
is that
was a racist.
Is that like a tomb? There was all those like death masks on the wall.
Well, they said there were part of the reason she put in there was because there were like Katra containers.
Is that what the faces are?
I don't know if it's the faces, the pyramids. Because what was this thing Archer had?
Kirshara.
Yeah, was that a pyramid?
It was very similar to the thing we saw Spock fondling.
So
but
that
it
was
had
probably
different iconography on it than the Kirshara.
So the
Spock
faces
was fondling something. This is what I get for not paying attention.
The faces may or may not have had Katras in them, but I assume the pyramid thing definitely did.
Yeah, well, it was something to block telepaths.
Yeah,
because otherwise, like.
It was a tomb built in Magneto's helmet.
Yeah, because Sarek is like busy meditating hard to be like, bring my son home to me.
He's been like
praying
that
to
for
Saint
hours.
Anthony like crazy.
What I did like,
something's missing.
One thing that I feel like they did pay attention to though is like they mentioned that being some sort of weird ancient technique, and that tracks. Like that has been a thing with Sarek. Like because even in Star Trek 3, it's like, oh, I want to put his Katra back in his body. And it's like that's like an ancient myth thing. So it's like Sarek just has this running theme of like he's into weird old Vulcan shit that even the rest of Vulcan is like,
yeah,
what is wrong with you, dude?
He would definitely be a Cyrenite if that was a thing still. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like this is the Vulcan equivalent of liking really freaky dungeon sex.
Wow.
Being like really into like old school mind meldy shit.
Oh, maybe,
like I just feel like he must be a fucking deviant. There's a club where he goes where it's like deviant mind meld night.
Yeah, speaking of
every other Monday.
The moment we see catatonic Spock and Sarek shows up, I wrote loudly in my notes, mind meld this man.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like that would solve it because the thing is like...
Well, but what if it spread?
Amanda is doing absolutely nothing for Spock's
human.
current well-being.
She's just reading them Alice in Wonderland.
She has locked him in a cave to hide him from Section 31 because, she rightfully doesn't trust Section 31.
Smart
and also the Federation because she knows the Federation would have to turn him over for the murder Mordor thing. But she's also not doing anything for what he's obviously a man in distress.
Yeah. I mean,
don't worry, he's just grounding himself. How's that going? How many days has he been grounding himself for, please?
I think she is in a rough place because, like, he needs help, but the minute she tries to get it, in comes the Gestapo. It's like, what do you do?
Spock in a hard place, am I right?
That's good. That's real good.
That might be the title.
I like that a lot. That's when you find a Vulcan physician whom you can trust, whom I'm sure she has. She's the wife of an ambassador.
Yeah, that's true.
Who's that lady in Severance who hangs out with Mark S. in the second season and is helping him? We need that guy. God. We need her.
She sucked, though.
Yeah, she sucked, but still.
No spoilers. I haven't seen it yet.
But we trusted her empirically. Good. But yeah, I feel like Amanda is in the wrong here for doing nothing for Spock.
Oh, for sure. She's lucky he doesn't just fucking die. Like, you feel like with that much going on in your brain, you're just gonna burn out.
Yeah, Sarek is in the wrong here. Like, immediately saying, let's send him to Section 31 like a moron. Michael does kind of nothing. Until we're in the hands of Section 31. Giorgio, I don't trust at all. Leland, I don't trust at all.
And I totally forgot. We punched Giorgio in the face.
It looked great.
Giorgio was like, you gotta fight me. Make it look like you escaped.
Hit me, Michael.
And then Michael takes a cheap shot and was like, I wanted to make it look good. I was like, yep, and you've been waiting to do that since season 1.
Yeah, it's like they're good. Like, Giorgio and Michael are good together. I still hate that Giorgio is here.
Yeah.
The son of a fucking bitch. So yeah, there's a lot going on and no one is doing things in a way that I find rational. They're all for plot.
I mean, I think, what Amanda's doing isn't rational, but you can see why she wound up where she did. What Sarek is doing is being strictly logical and not letting anything else. Yeah. So it's like
he's like lawful, logical, lawful,
yes,
and
exactly.
She's like
he still has faith in institutions, even though there's so much evidence to the contrary. So I mean, while it is just for plot, it also feels right for the characters that they made the decisions they did. Like it doesn't feel necessarily Like, I get why they're doing what they're doing. I don't agree with either of them. But I get where they're coming from in both cases. So there's at least that.
Yeah, maybe it's just that the discussions that they have then are so black and white. It's so either this thing or this thing, and they never find a common ground.
True. But then again...
Like, I could see Michael saying, can't we involve someone other than Section 31 and still keep Spock safe?
Yeah.
And neither of them says that's a good idea, because they're all for either keeping Spock unsafe or handing him to Section 31, which is unsafe.
Yeah.
There are no knowns and unknown unknowns and known unknowns. Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, this is a hard episode to focus on, because it's like, it feels like both plots were just kind of filler.
Right. How do you feel about the Leland reveal?
Oh God!
Oh, I forgot about that.
What was the Leland reveal?
It was so heavy-handed. It was so like
I forgot all about that already.
Exposition-y.
Yeah,
because
it's soap trek again. We're back on the soap opera.
You have fucking Giorgio.
Yeah.
In the last scene, going up to
got dirt on
out
Leland.
of nowhere,
going
up
that
to Leland
reveal.
and be like, "Does she doesn't know that you're responsible for killing her parents or whatever the fuck she said."
Yeah.
I also thought that was like, oh, okay.
Like, it's meant to be a big... It's so fucking lazy. Just don't have a character just come out and say the thing. Show the thing.
We don't need Leland to be her fucking Joe Chill or Joker or whatever. Like, just no. That didn't... He's already evil by virtue of being Section 31.
Yeah, but this is the thing that Giorgio has over him. Because, Giorgio always has to be the character that's in control.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
She's so conniving.
I don't mind her having something over him. That feels very Section... Like, I feel like Section 31 is a bunch of people trying to have stuff on each other constantly.
Well, what's a better thing to have over Leland?
I don't know, but the fact that his thing happens to connect to Michael is like, come on.
Yeah,
you're just making the universe feel small.
It's the same complaint that you had about the newer Star Wars films.
She's a Skywalker.
Rey. Like, she doesn't need to be...
Yeah, like...
Well, she wasn't a Skywalker. She was a...
Palpatine.
Spoilers.
But fuck it. It's not... Do not go to that fucking movie if you haven't. Don't bother. It's trash.
Aren't Skywalkers Palpatines?
No.
I thought. Didn't he impregnate Shmi?
It's
through the Force.
Heavily implied, true, that he is the one that caused the Immaculate.
What's Shmi? Oh, that's Darth Vader's mom.
Yeah, it is implied he's the one, but it also might have been Plagueis. Anyway, this isn't Star Wars.
Wait a minute.
Oh, damn it!
I'm sorry, but you're
shit.
He's Darth Vader's. She had Anakin without doing a sex.
Yeah,
that's in the first movie.
That was a whole point.
He's an immaculate conception.
I saw that movie 5 times in theaters. I had no fucking idea.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
It's a dumb movie,
it is
but
stupid.
not
He was conceived, they think, by the midi-chlorians.
Nothing in the prequel trilogy, though, is as bad as Episode 9.
That's true.
Anyway.
Remember when somebody asked you about the original 6 Star Wars films recently?
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, he's a
coworker
of mine.
That sucks, doesn't it?
How old?
21. Yeah. Anyway, that's the thing, though. These episodes like they didn't have enough story.
So they overwrote what they had?
Yeah, like we should just already be at next week, basically.
Interesting.
Because this was so much nothing. Like both plots were nothing.
Yeah. Okay. So what did we accomplish? So we've talked about we've revealed where Spock is, and Michael now has Spock.
Yes.
Done. Check that out.
That could have taken 5 minutes.
On the other side, we have a lot of Pike and Ash hating each other.
Yeah.
I hope it ends with touching dicks.
By the end, they have touched dicks.
Good.
But also now we have this new thing about future shit.
Yeah, like they're clearly they've laid some seeds that'll sprout later. But again, you didn't need to devote a whole half of the episode to that.
Yeah, I don't care for Tyler anymore. So it's like, I don't care about him. He's Section 31, so I automatically dislike him.
Right.
He storms in and is like, where's Michael? And I didn't okay this. You're not Michael's keeper, dude.
You're
Holy
not
shit.
the captain, like Pike says.
Yeah. He's like a totally different character.
Yeah,
like he's not the same person
character
anymore.
Assassination.
It didn't have to be Tyler, but also, like, I don't like that Section 31 is here in the first place.
Yeah, no, they suck.
Yeah, and also, like, so... Well, the other big thing that I'm sure is going to come up soon again is... So the shuttle, when they were stuck in the time vortex, they got attacked by their own probe, which had turned into a squid monster from the Matrix.
Do.
Yeah. Why? I was thinking that. Why is it always squids?
Who knows?
Like, what is it with science
when
fiction?
It should obviously be crabs.
That's a good point.
But
That's
no, really,
good.
I thought that too, though, because not just the Matrix. I feel like in all sorts of, like, for some reason, maybe it's because of the Matrix, evil robot shorthand now is, like, squid.
Yeah. So we have this squid.
Well, didn't they do it? No, you said Matrix? Because it's before the Matrix, there was TNG, and before TNG, there was Watchmen. Oh, those are jellyfish, aren't they?
No, but those aren't
No,
robots.
actually, I'm talking robo.
Oh, robots.
Robo squids.
Robots.
That was
Robo
squids.
squids.
Which I don't.
That seems ineffective.
I mean, they were very effective in the Matrix, and they were quite effective in this. But anyway, so their own probe attacks them, and then it starts like reading the ship's computer for some reason. We don't know
and then
why.
it infects Arium, which we
And
forgot
then it
about.
infects, it infects Robohead Girl by flashing a red smiley face at her.
Robohead sounds like a porn version of RoboCop.
Well, so this is the thing. There's so many alien designs in this show that are just amount to Robohead. Because so you have Arium, who's a Robohead. Then remember Daft Punk?
I miss
Daft
that in
Punk
Daft Punk.
guy. The
Everything-
Lobot guy.
If I may quote dear leader, everything is computer.
Everything is computer. Well, so apparently Arium is some kind of android because she was infected by this thing.
Oh no. She's got a computer virus.
Or a cyborg. She kind of looks like Nebula from.
I think I said that. Did I say that?
You might
You
have.
may have, yeah.
Well, if I didn't, I've always thought it. So
Well,
if I didn't, thank you
now,
for making
now
it.
it has been said.
For sure. Let's say it every week from now on.
Yes.
Write that down.
But can I just say something about Arium?
No.
Sure.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
I want to find the sound designer on this show and throttle them. Because anytime Arium is on screen and she moves her head at all, it goes vroom, vroom.
Does it?
It does. It gets really distracting.
And like,
Whoa.
if she's off camera, you never hear it, right? Because it's just like
Because she never turns her head when she's on camera.
she's completely frozen if she's not being filmed. But as soon as she's on screen, even if she's not the focus of the shot, like if it's like there was a point where she was standing next to Tilly, and Tilly's talking, and we're trying to hear what Tilly's saying for some reason, and next to her, Arium's just like, vroom, 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 vroom.
Tilly's like, can you fucking keep it down?
Sit still.
It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go to the doctor and get some
Here's
oil.
some WD-40, bitch.
Hank Hill shows up with his can of WD-40 and his smaller can of WD-40.
It's like okay, all right, we have like an android or cyborg character we don't really know, but we have okay, that's cool. That's not something we've seen before.
Look, but here's the thing. Here, in the distant past of the 21st century, we have nearly silent servo motors. I'm sure they have them in the 23rd century.
I mean, it's a cool noise. Like the sound. Like I'll give the sound designer credit for coming up with a cool sound.
Sure.
It's just so overused. Like maybe they should have made it for like when she makes rapid or like when she makes when she's very upset. I don't know, but just having it in every.
Or if she was like running or something.
Yeah, like just maybe like I said, just when she does like a quick head move, not a normal one.
Nobody would want to be around this person because she's fucking distracting.
Yeah.
And like, okay, is this ableist? I don't know.
I was just thinking that. I was literally just thinking like, oh wow, they're distracting. Are they? Is that a problem for you? Are they taking away from your time in the class?
Oh, yeah,
It's distracting for the audience. We'll say that in universe people are tolerant, but for the audience perspective, don't.
So much for
As
the
a
tolerant
television
left.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But I bet you next episode they don't do it as much.
Well,
Like,
no,
don't-
I'm assuming
gonna do it more, I
I'm
bet.
assuming they're going to be focusing on Arium a lot.
Well, then we'll see if they keep in the.
They've been doing it the whole show. It was really distracting for me this week because of
How much she was on screen.
she was on screen a lot because they knew that they were going to do this thing at the end.
Eesh.
tangentially related to distracting, one thing that annoyed me was if you're gonna give Tilly stupid lines,
Which one?
Which please don't.
don't acknowledge it in universe.
Oh, because she said she was flipping whatever.
Well, there was
Freaking!
at one point she said something, and they actually even cut to Saru like making like a kiff face, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, guys, okay, so you're acknowledging you're giving her dumb lines. Just don't give her the dumb lines. I like Tilly. Stop giving her dumb lines.
Yeah, stop making Tilly suck.
Yeah, I really just Tilly made so much progress in the back half of season 1.
She really did, and then they.
And now it's just like, oh no, let's go back to old goofy Tilly.
Yeah, it's a little annoying.
I don't like it.
That's
And
like
again-
how I felt about the opening of the Serenity film. It's like we went right back to like first part of the season, like Simon and
Yeah.
whatever. What's her name? Yeah, that's it. It's like, oh no, all of a sudden we don't like or trust you again. Well, why? What?
There were a lot of fascinating choices with that movie.
It's not a good movie. No. Sorry, I don't like it. Anyway. But yeah, I didn't even notice the servo sound.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to be paying close attention to that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So another Stamets superpower, time travel. Time travel awareness.
He doesn't even have to loop around the sun. He can just...
well, he's not really... he can't... I don't think he can just time travel at will, but he has some special connection to the space-time where he's not affected by it.
And yet somehow he's not at all involved in this mission, and when Tilly goes down here and says, hey, the captain and Ash have disappeared in time, he's like, when did this happen?
Yeah. Normally he'd be explaining the thing as he's walking onto the bridge.
Well, the thing that
for whatever reason this time, like, they didn't inform him.
The other thing too is like
they were sick of him walking around the bridge like he knows shit. You know,
what's really weird.
Like, you know what? Let's just skip it this week.
Yeah. What's really weird is they're like, at one point they mentioned they have like 5 hours before the radiation will be lethal. By the time she gets to Stamets, it's 4 hours.
Yeah,
why did it take you an hour to get to engineering?
She ran a marathon first.
She's like, oh no, Stamets, in 15 minutes they're gonna die from radiation poisoning.
The other thing was that, so there's apparently an old shuttle pilot trick where if you're lost, you can burn off your fuel,
which we've seen several times in Star Trek.
Yeah, that's
well, no.
It goes back to Galileo 7, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's an established thing, but it's like an old trick. Everyone knows it. So you can apparently only do it 3 times before you totally run out of fuel, which is what happened. And then the other problem. So, like, honestly, I think the shuttle designers, knowing that this is a thing that people do, should like have like a backup fuel storage or something.
Some sort of flare.
So I was just gonna say, like, instead of like doing this presumably dangerous thing where you're like ejecting fuel and then lighting it on fire or whatever the fuck, maybe just...
Or just like, what about just releasing a torpedo or something, like, you know, a little thing that blows up?
Well, I feel like if you released a torpedo in a space-time rift,
seems
dangerous.
Blow up space
time.
It just seems like...
But the silly thing I wanted to mention, right, so they run out of gas.
Yep.
And they're going to get sucked into the vortex.
Mm-hmm.
Stamets is there. Mm-hmm. And...
Thank God.
And the probe is drinking our milkshake. And Pike realizes, well, shit, we don't want the probe to get whatever information is in the computer, so I'm going to self-destruct the shuttle. Stamets, beam us the fuck out of here so we can beam out and blow up the shuttle. And Stamets is like, okay, working on it. So he gets to work on this. Tapping away, tip-tappity-tap. And then Pike sets a 5-second countdown for the self-destruct.
Hope you're working fast!
Like, okay, if you want to do that short of a countdown, just wait until he says, like, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Like, sets the countdown, and then Sam's like, okay, give me 30 seconds.
Pike knows...
You've got 5!
Pike knows he has plot armor.
It's like, oh my god.
He doesn't yet, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
I know.
What is the 5-second time countdown all about, Pike? I mean, I get, like, just set it for 1 second, but make it so that you press the button right as you're beaming out.
Have you ever had to listen to that countdown starting at 2 minutes? So annoying!
He's doing a countdown!
So we blow up a shuttle.
It feels like Galaxy Quest.
No, it's...
Orbit maneuver.
Yeah, TOS.
So this also takes place after the cage.
Yes.
Wait, it does?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's already been to Talos 4?
Yeah.
He's already been to Talos 4, and as far as we know, maybe it's not, but as far as I'm assuming, Talos 4 is a death sentence planet.
We don't know when that was enacted.
So you think maybe Michael Burnham goes there, fucks some shit up, and then they're like, okay, death sentence.
I don't know if you know, but Michael Burnham is the most important character in Star Trek ever, so possibly. Oh, okay, so I'm actually glad you said that, because I was thinking to myself, like, is this pre-Talos? And you know why I thought that? Because we know that Pike winds up all fucked up, but he doesn't wind up fucked up because of Talos 4. He's fucked up because of, like, some explosion thing.
Yeah,
later on.
But because it's part of the same episode, in my mind, it's like the same thing, but it isn't. He would have left...
so the reason in...
Baffle plate blows.
The reason in the menagerie that he goes back to Talos 4
is because he's
fucked up and he knows that the Talosians can put him back together like Vina.
Yeah.
Well, at least in his brain.
Yeah.
They can make him think he's okay.
They can give him a comfortable retirement.
And he gets to bang Vina all the time. So
and she's hot. Well, we've seen.
Well, she believes she's hot.
But yeah, the at least, with Stamets' power out of nowhere, it's only kind of out of nowhere, because they at least did semi-establish it last season, so...
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because there's...
with the Mud episode.
They even say, whoa, yeah, when Mud...
Oh, right, because
So-
he's, the one that can tell that it's happening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
okay,
they at
fair
least...
enough.
I mean, yes, then it was a little out of nowhere, and now it's still, it's a variant on it, but still, it's...
Don't worry about it. He's got a third eyelid.
Yeah, time lid.
It's fine. Time lid.
I
That's
kind
right.
of feel like they forgot about
They
that power.
totally
that
did,
superpower, and they're like, oh shit, we can do some timey stuff this week.
Yeah.
And involve Stamets.
Let's get timey-wimey with it, bitches.
My God, the Red Angel is Daniels.
I remember...
Oh my God, wouldn't that be great?
No. Back in the day, when this was...
No.
Absolutely not.
Back-
There should never be Daniels in Star Trek.
No.
Oh my God.
Back when this was actually live, years ago now, because the IMDb is just user updatable, for a little while, someone had the Red Angel listed as Jeffrey Combs.
Nice.
I wish.
Spoiler alert, it's not Jeffrey Combs.
That would be great. I do love a Jeffrey Combs.
Did anybody else notice, though, that in the absence of Michael Burnham on Discovery this week, we let some other crew members have a little...
Oh yeah, Reese had a revelation.
Yeah.
Reese
I
got
was
to
shocked for
participate. Irium got to do something. Oo did something.
Did she? I don't remember this.
She was ordered to do something. I don't
Yeah,
know if she
they
actually spoke about it.
He asked her to manually compensate for tachyon techno
So she did her job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, she got acknowledged, which is rare on this damn show. Although I will say, probably now, thanks to that episode a few weeks ago, she's probably had the most lines of any of the random bridge people.
Detmerick has a lot of lines.
She does, yeah. She's probably... They're probably neck and neck.
It's just too bad because it feels like whenever you look at good Star Trek, the best Star Trek is the Star Trek that has a good ensemble that everybody's doing some shit, right? I mean, to have it just be the Michael Burnham show, Michael and Friends, it's just it's much more interesting if you've got...
They're letting Saru and Pike do things this season.
I love Saru's my fave.
He's the best.
It's interesting
And
because...
he's delicious.
Oh my. Oh my.
Oh my. No, I meant his ganglia.
Oh. For some reason, I had that try the gray stuff, it's delicious in my head when you said...
Why not?
You got Disney on the brain.
I guess so. Anyway.
Jake and Ames will be doing a meet and greet at Disney for all of our fans.
That's right.
No, they won't. They're on vacation.
Yeah, if you follow us in Florida, we're fucked. What was I saying? Oh, so Bridge Crew. Yeah. Yeah, I think, we've kind of had this conversation. This is something Carl brought up when he was on a few weeks ago about how, fundamentally that's a difference in how...
Well, his exact line
Discovery
is it's the show about the AV nerds instead of the bridge crew.
Yeah.
Which I still like.
We're left
It's a good line.
We're left with a bridge crew that is there to push plot forward, but our real characters are usually the ones sciencing somewhere.
Yeah, but the thing is, and here's my issue. The science characters, yes, they're focusing on them, which good on you.
Yeah, you're Tilly.
They all stink. So you have Tilly, who stinks.
No.
She stinks.
They keep giving her bad lines, but
That means the character stinks.
It's like they really wanted a manic pixie dream girl, but they just focused on the manic, and kind of didn't get as much to the pixie. But deep down I like Tilly, and I know you're gonna say that Stamets sucks, but I love Stamets too.
yeah, I like Stamets.
Well, he's just an asshole.
Yeah, and I love that about him.
He's fun.
I want him to be my bitchy queen best friend.
And then I like Sonequa Martin Green. I'm just not loving Burnham. Especially this season so far. There was some okay stuff in the season one. I don't know.
I think season 1 is my favorite season.
I think season 1 was a lot better.
Michael is more interesting in season 1 because they built the whole season around her arc.
Yeah.
Which was a good idea because they planned ahead. They planned, she's going to start at a low point. She's going to get some kind of redemption. She's going to foil the admirals who are planning this bad thing. Great arc. This season, we don't quite know yet because we're on, episode 7. So we're about halfway through now. And her journey is different because we've already seen her be redeemed. Mm-hmm. So now we just know Michael's always right. Now she's at the stage where it's like, okay, now we're here to trust Michael all the time because we saw that she can be trustworthy after her arc in season 1, which means she doesn't really have a lot of places to go. And they haven't been revealing. I know they said at one point, "Oh, I'm out. I'm on the outs with Spock because of some bad thing I did." That they've been teasing out for so long that I don't even care anymore.
Yeah, well, I think again, like this is the nature of hindsight, but I know where they take this season, and they are taking way the fuck too long to get there. Like,
well, we said that about season 1 too.
Yeah, but it's really bad this time. It is.
Well, season 1 had like the mini arcs that were like the 3-episode arcs.
Yeah, so that kind of helped. This has one, and it's like
it took us all this time just to find Spock.
Yeah, again, this episode
they did it in one movie. In 3.
I was literally just thinking that.
I do,
and it was regrettable.
I will say, I know they couldn't keep it, but I do miss Ethan Peck with a beard.
Oh, he is a handsome man.
Well,
especially because they give him that stupid fucking haircut in the next season. Oh, if we see him in the next season.
I mean, we haven't really talked about it, but what do we think of Ethan Peck Spock?
Well, he hasn't.
Yeah, he's catatonic.
Yeah.
But like
we know what he looks like, and we know what he sounds like when he's reciting like the numbers from Law.
Looks good, and he knows his.
But first impressions then.
Pretty.
Hot. Yeah, I was gonna say attractive.
He's pretty.
He seems pretty. That's it.
He has a nice timbre.
I think I went with a different...
Sounds a lot like Sarek, the actor playing Sarek, I feel like.
James Frayne.
It's interesting to me that when they cast Spock for the Abrams movies, they went with Zachary Quinto, who has a similar facial structure to Leonard Nimoy. They're both long faces.
He's got a long face.
Big cheekbones on these guys.
But interestingly, they chose to go... Not chose, I mean, the actor that they hired to do Spock here... looks quite different.
He's a softer Spock.
He's a much
softer, gentler Spock.
Yes.
He does, I think, look more like Spock, quote unquote, when he has no beard. But yeah, he does.
Yeah, well, right now he looks like that hot Romulan from.
Oh, Narek.
Yeah, like clearly, whoever's in charge of casting for streaming Trek has a type.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with that because it's mine.
Yeah,
too.
well, yeah, they want it to be like a hot young thing, and and I'm not complaining. I'm not like calling them out. I think it's if you're gonna recast characters, right, to play younger versions of the character, and that's fine. And you can they don't have to look like the actor that played. I think it was kind of cool that Quinto kind of could pass.
Yeah.
But it also probably was more important in that movie because he was playing opposite Leonard Nimoy as the same character. So in this one, it's more of a clean slate. And I'm okay with it.
And it is a little more believable that Ethan Peck grew up from the deeply round-faced boy who plays Babby Spock.
True.
So again...
That little asshole kid.
That kid, who again, no offense to him, but it's just... I'm sure he wouldn't look quite as silly with normal hair, but with that Vulcan haircut...
Yeah.
I mean, again, don't get me wrong, like, I have an enormous round head. I know his pain. But...
Poor Spock can't wear hats.
I was going to say, he has so much trouble.
But then we learn in all of TOS, he wears hats all the time.
But see, that's Nimoy. Narrower head.
I want to dig into something that I've been trying to piece together in my brain since this came out in 2019.
Okay.
Because I can't tell if it's good layering on the Spock character or problematic layering on the Spock character or just unnecessary layering on the Spock character that he has this Latak Tarai thing.
It literally exists to be a plot point. It never comes up again, so it's dumb.
Interesting. Because I remember just looking at it as a way to make Spock accessible, to have more diversity in characters for people who have, say, some kind of a learning disability or a condition or something like that, to be able to look at Spock and say, I see myself in Spock. But the problem that I've had, and I've been piecing this together and I don't know where I fall, is you always could with Spock.
Yeah.
Ever since TOS.
I think, again, because it seems like they mostly did it so that they could have the Red Rum puzzle, it feels kind of just gross.
He could have had the Red Rum puzzle just because he was brain wiped or something.
Yeah, or just because he's whatever's happening with him. It doesn't need to be and again, I get that you can't retroactively put any of that into the stuff that has already happened, but
you're talking about TOS.
TOS in the movies, if they wanted, maybe they could have brought it up again in Strange New Worlds, which as of season 2, they have not. So it really was just using a disability as a plot device, which... Or a learning disorder as a plot device, which feels kind of wrong.
Yeah, it's kind of gross, especially if it never comes up again.
It doesn't.
You're just using it to be like...
He could have just been like repeating the coordinate. Like, they didn't have to be backwards. It's not like...
Well, that was so that...
Michael solved the puzzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Michael could have still... Like, if he was just repeating numbers, Michael could have still solved the puzzle by just realizing, wait a minute, those sound like coordinates.
Well, but the problem is, anyone could have thought of that. It had to be back... Because Amanda even said she punched it in the computer and it didn't mean... Which also, by the way, there are so many coordinates in space.
Yeah, it's 6 digits.
There is no way that backwards that isn't somewhere. I mean, it might be nothing there, but then you still like, all right, we think there's nothing there, but maybe there... And they go and it's like, oh, never mind.
Well, wait, so the other thing that defies belief for me is that Burnham literally asked the computer... Give me all results that relate to these 6 digits.
True.
And then the computer's like, one result, the coordinates of Talos 4.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
go plug those digits into Google and see how many.
There's going to be millions.
Yeah, there's like, some
references.
Vulcan tome that's like, the Vulcan Book of Sex Acts, and it's like Volume 1. Chapter 2,
and like
it's actually mostly just hand stuff.
Page 3. It's all this thing.
And that's the thing. Like, I could see a situation where if he, let's say he was repeating the digits forward, and Amanda puts in the computer, and she's got, and there's 34 million results for these 6 digits. And Burnham tries it, and there's nothing. And then
there's some other thing.
There's something else that happens that clues Michael in that. Wait a minute, those might be coordinates. And then she looks it up and sees that, oh, there's a planet there. Talos, what? Okay.
No one's ever been there that I know of.
Yeah. Or, again, if we just want to rip off the prequels again, like, no, nothing's at those coordinates. And then it's like, wait a minute, if we do this, there's a planet there.
Or, like, okay, here's an idea, right? So,
that's no move.
Let's say Starfleet has totally removed Talos from the official star charts, and like,
I think I know where you're going with this.
And then she's on the Section 31 ship, and like,
if anyone's gonna know,
and like, Leland hears the numbers, and he's like, I gotta go.
There we go. Yeah.
And then
it's actually noteworthy that we're on the Section 31 ship instead of just me being pissed off about it.
Yeah, because then it's it's in the Section 31 database.
Oh, wait, guys, I'm sorry. We keep calling it the Section 31 ship. Spaceball 1.
Spaceball 1, yes.
They need to hire you guys to write these episodes, honestly.
I mean, like...
Retroactively.
Well, consulting. They should just call you in before they do it. And you know what I mean? Like, honestly.
The thing is, like, you guys are best in retrospect. When you can look at something that exists and say, this is what would have fixed it.
Yeah. We need to be script doctors.
Yeah, exactly. They need to send us...
are the glaring issues as obvious.
Well, yeah. They have to... They'll send us the scripts to read.
Yeah,
and then
that's why script doctors are a thing. I will say, though, it definitely we need to call it Spaceball 1, because apparently they don't have names, these ships. Because when Michael's pulling up to it, there's some comm chatter. And she just refers to it by some sort of...
Is it the registry number?
Yeah, and it's not even an NCC. It's like N1I or something. It's some... I rewound. And I was like, okay, so I think they just have registry numbers. So, yeah, Spaceball 1 it is.
One eye, blinking.
Yeah. And, like, you could even do a thing... If it was a thing that, like, Section 31 knew about...
Yeah,
but
which would track.
Burnham didn't. Like, she could call up. Like, you could put the cliffhanger at the end as she calls up Discovery and is like, hey, have you guys ever heard of this planet Talos 4?
And then they could have had a great shot of like Anson Mount making like a face that tells you that he knows what Talos 4 is.
Yeah.
Or because it's a new track, he just goes, fuck.
Let me get another fuck.
That actually might have been an alright fuck.
But anyway, I think that would have been a lot better. Also on Spaceball 1, we have this Giorgio Burnham fight.
Yeah.
Looked good.
Looks good. It's good choreography.
Yeah, very good.
Always good to see Michelle Yeoh do some ass kicking.
Yeah.
I love the nearly shoot Michael in the arm, and Michael's like, too close.
I think didn't she actually shoot her, or just like...
I think she grazed her sleeve.
Yeah, she grazed her sleeve, and Michael's like, we're done with the shooting now.
They did also...
And she's like, winky wink, and I love her. I love that for her.
I didn't get a great look at it, but I think they did do a subtler version of... I think, I could be wrong, but a subtler version of Ash having the like ahead of its time comm badge. Because it looks like the phasers on the Section 31 ship only have one
setting
emitter as opposed to the like 3 that they have on the current ones.
I haven't noticed any of this.
Yeah, because the emitters on the current ones, like the cage phasers, have the like 3 emitters on the front that you move around to change the energy setting.
Right.
But it looks like this just has a single emitter, like they
So
will.
it's like one of those hoses.
That's basically, I think, was kind of the idea.
The Section 31 phasers only have vaporized settings.
Or again, they just, like with TOS, just like you push a button instead of twisting a nozzle.
Where's the coffee setting on this?
Rand would find it.
Yep.
One other thing about Tyler and Pike is that in the shuttle, when they're flapping around through the time time farting, and Pike has this quick like vision / maybe it's like the time reality, and then he sees it question marks of him shooting Tyler, and then it comes up later and it's like, oh, he's in the scene and realizes, oh, I'm not shooting Tyler, I'm shooting the monster. But
why isn't the monster in the vision?
well, no, not even. I don't care about the monster being in the vision because there's a time displacement thing, and that didn't bother me.
Fair enough.
It's the only thing we saw that was timey-wimey-ish.
True.
Well, we did see there was a similar moment on the bridge where he saw himself.
Yeah, but it happened like twice.
Yeah.
Wait, when did he see himself on the bridge?
Before they even went on the shuttle.
Yeah, when him and Tyler are tossing the badge back and forth.
I don't think I saw this.
It was when they first detected the time
flippery.
Shit. Okay, I missed a time flippery then.
Yeah.
Damn
That's
it.
kind of how they know time flippery's happening.
I see, and yet they don't tell Stamets.
No.
Yeah.
Flippery, this table.
I also they're like, shit. We have to like the time vortex is about to explode because the shuttle's been.
They called it a time tsunami.
Yeah,
there's gonna be a time tsunami. So Pike's like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. So they warp away. The fucking
Kaminar?
The fucking Kelpians are about to get time fucked.
I got the same thought.
It's like,
we forgot about them entirely.
Well, they made it a point at the beginning of the episode for Pike to be like, we're staying at Kaminar for a while for reasons.
Yeah, not to help the Kelpians, but to look at the time.
Well, they're sending other people to help. Hopefully.
Theoretically,
they're gonna get there and like all of the Kelpians are gonna be old or something. I don't know. They're all gonna have turned back into babies because of the time shittery.
No, I bet baby Kelpians are adorable.
oh,
There's little tadpoles. Just like
like Kif.
Kif, yeah.
they're
babies.
just flapping around.
He really is. He really is like a variant on Kif.
It's cute. All right, couple other little things. Hey, you guys don't know how I've been bitching about opening logs so fucking much.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. They actually make it explicitly a log this week.
This one is definitely a log, but they also, in lieu of a previously on, like there wasn't a previously on this week, because they shoved all the information in the log narration teaser thing, including video clips, which I don't think, I wrote that down, but I don't think I noticed the video clips being part of the,
neither did I.
of the log exposition. But also, since it was a log, it also wasn't as floral as some of the other narrations, which makes me just think, like, this one is a personal log. All the other shit is just Michael writing on her live journal.
Yeah.
While high.
Right.
On spores.
With Stamets.
This is sporing.
Sporing.
Yeah, so it's interesting though. I mean, so we're getting another Spock, which is cool. And I don't know. I recall thinking Ethan Peck does a pretty good job.
Yeah, I like him. I like him in Strange New Worlds.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, right? Because so the Spock character is obviously an established character from TOS. So, we're getting a look at sort of a take on Spock, but in a totally different series.
Yeah.
Which I guess there's precedent for in Star Trek, having characters kind of show up in different series.
Look at Jake segueing into the blog TV as he typically does.
If it wasn't copyrighted, I think I would have to download the Jetsons car wobble wobble and put that under when you do one of these segues.
A segue.
So here we are in Blogtivity this week. Because I realized, hey, since we finally see Spock this week after being Spock teased for so many weeks on end, I thought to myself, hey, let's look at all the other series where main characters from earlier series just show up. usually for the fan wank of it all. But let's discuss.
Yes.
Because it happens a bunch of times. I think we're going to cut off at 2009 because after 2009 with any of the streaming treks, it's 90% appearances in Lower Decks, which we haven't gotten to yet.
Or, a whole series about characters from another series.
Picard?
Like Picard and Strange New Worlds.
Yeah, but then they become the main characters.
And Prodigy. Yeah, actually they do it. That's basically all of Star Trek now is remember this character.
Here's what they're up to now.
Prodigy's so good, though.
It is good.
Yeah,
It is
Prodigy
good, but it
is
is a
allowed.
fan wank.
Prodigy, I feel like... Well, see, I think, if anything, Prodigy is actually a proper sequel to Voyager, as opposed to, like Janeway is a regular and very consequential. It's, I feel
it's
like...
not a wank.
Yeah, it's a proper sequel in a way that Picard wanted to be and failed.
I like that.
Shots fired.
And yet fucking Mulgrew was saying, oh yeah, there could be a live-action Star Trek Janeway. And we're like, we don't need it, we have Prodigy.
Give us more Prodigy.
I would take it, though. I'd watch it.
I would, but give me so much more Prodigy first.
Yeah, I would prioritize the Prodigy. And any of the other, like, oh, let's have a Star Trek 7. Actually, that'd be pretty sweet.
No, because of...
Oh, because it would be basically just more Picard.
Yeah, it requires it to basically be a follow-on from Picard, and it had...
A lot of people really want it.
Without spoiling what happens in Season 3 of Picard, I don't want more of that show.
Reiterating, we're talking about when main characters pop up on other series, and I think our very first instance of that is in our very next series, because, in TOS they're already there. So by the time we get to TNG, our very first episode of TNG...
Bones.
Hey, look at that! We got Bones! What did you guys think of Bones in Encounter at Farpoint?
I think it was fine.
It's cute. I mean, it definitely kind of feels like...
It's a baton handoff.
Yeah, and it was like, no offense to him, but it's like they couldn't get Shatner for some reason.
Well, good. It's better for not being Shatner.
Why is...
I feel like if it were Kirk, it would be a whole different type of handoff.
That's true. He would have been more
There
involved.
wouldn't have been a handoff. Somehow William Shatner would have taken over TNG.
It would have been generations.
It just feels weird. Like, I wish he had not been Admiral McCoy. It's like, why is he an admiral? He could still just be a doctor.
I mean, he could be a doctor.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. Just again, I know we've bitched about this before, but Bones doesn't feel like the kind of guy who wants high rank.
Yeah, but maybe they just wouldn't stop giving it to him because of all of their exploits.
But I don't know. I think it's
fine.
I think I'm sure we'll talk about the other ones, but this is something that they did a lot with every series, with one exception. Which I guess they still kind of did the baton handoff. But it was different because of circumstances. But in Enterprise, but
and I'm biased as fuck because I love Bones, so I'm so happy to see him.
I like it.
It's fine.
I'm always happy to see Bones. It's cool.
It's a good little scene. I like his rapport with Data. I think him kind of making it clear that Data is our Spock character for us, for anyone in the back who can't see the screen. Good little rapport. I like them.
Let me see if I can guess the next one. Is it going to be?
Is it green?
Is it green? No. Is that next here?
Oh, it's the crazy virus from Naked Now.
It's not a main character.
I know.
Yeah. It is in that episode.
Is it Relics? Or is it...
Riveting. Riveting radio right
This is
here.
great radio, yeah.
The first Birthright?
No. Neither of those.
Well, it's not Relic?
Is it? Oh,
if we're going chronologically
is
through
it
TNG,
is it Unification?
It's Unification.
And who's that? Spock?
That's Spock. We get Spock in Unification because, I think Spock as the character that shows up in other things, he shows up the most in other things.
It is frequently the first officer. I was thinking about this morning. It's like, we get a lot of Spock and a lot of Will.
Will Riker? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so the Spock we get in Unification, it's very, very directly connected to the plot. Like he has its own plot. It's not just there, I think, for the fans to wank about. I think he's pivotal as a character driving things forward.
Oh, definitely.
And it feels like something he would have fallen into,
Yeah, especially after he banged Nevesa in the Romulan episode.
True.
The name of which I can't remember. Enterprise Incident.
We talked about how there was talk of making Savick half Romulan.
Yeah, we talked about that.
So he could have also banged Savick.
I don't like that idea.
Well, he did.
He was her mentor.
Didn't he bang Savick?
He did bang Savick.
Oh, that part of the banging. I'm thinking in Twok, not in...
Search for Spock.
Oh, God, I wish we didn't call it Twok. It sounds too much like twat, and it throws me off every time.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know that like they were very consciously, with the exception of the McCoy cameo, like they wanted to avoid too many references to TOS in the first few seasons of TNG.
Yeah.
And I feel like if not for that, we probably would have had a lot more wanky cameos than we got.
I'm sure we would have gotten a Shatner. Like, even as like a marketing tie-in for
like a
Star Trek
sweeps.
5 or something.
Yeah, like...
Well, this was our marketing tie-in.
I know,
for Star
exactly.
Trek 5.
Yeah. Well, no, this was a tie-in for Star Trek 6.
Okay, this is a tie-in for Star Trek 6, having the Spock here.
Yeah.
As a, look, go to the movie too, see more Spock, we love him.
But it worked at least.
But like,
6
I
also
could
great
totally
movie,
have
so that's
seen
nice.
the episode where Riker's dad shows up
Oh, yeah.
and bangs Pulaski.
Mm-hmm.
I could totally see that have been changed to Shatner shows up as Kirk.
Yeah.
Bangs
And he bangs Pulaski.
How would he show up as a very old
as a
old
very,
man?
very old man.
That's awful.
Ambassador
I don't like it.
Kirk.
I don't like it either.
Of course, then you lose the whole angle of...
I mean, Bones
Riker's
is still
father.
alive.
Yeah, but he's
I would
ancient.
rather Pulaski fuck Bones, honestly. I don't want Kirk anywhere near Pulaski.
I mean, Pulaski fucking Riker's dad is fine, too. That's
Yeah,
whatever.
I like it. I'm into it.
But yeah, no, that thing is, I feel like that episode does stand on its own. Like, I forgot it was supposed to be a Star Trek 6 tie-in, because they don't make it explicit. And again, I think it follows that this feels like something Spock would have gotten involved with. You know, had it not been Spock, had it been like Sulu or Chekhov, it's like, what the fuck do they care about Vulcan unification? Like,
no, it
what?
could have only been Spock.
Yeah.
Right.
So it worked.
Yeah.
And it was a good enough episode that it's like, yeah, this is fine.
Nice. Well, let's move on, because Jake already brought up Relics, where we see Scotty as yet another character from TOS who pops into TNG. This one with a whole different convoluted way he gets there, because he's still the same age as he was in the TOS movies.
Right, because he was hanging out in, like, the transporter.
Pattern buffer.
Yeah.
Which is clever, which is a clever way to get you into the right timeline.
It's a clever way to get you into the right timeline to then completely, like, just make you look like a bitch. Fucking Geordie.
But, you know, it's a Scotty way to get there.
In another, in a non-human character sense, we also get our first appearance of a ship from another series, because we see the bridge of the Enterprise.
Oh, that's good.
On the
Which is
holodeck.
kind of nice.
Yeah, it's a good episode, though.
Yeah, and I think, Scott feeling obsolete makes for a very interesting episode, because it's very personal that way, especially because the audience know and connect to this character.
Yeah.
Like, if it had been some rando from the past, like in like the neutral zone, we don't care about these assholes. We'd prefer they stay in cryo.
Yeah.
But Scotty shows up and you're like, oh no, Scotty! We loved him in the other show.
Yeah.
It's also kind of like, it kind of sucks though if you're a fan of Scotty, because for the most part you get to watch like this guy who was a fucking prodigy in his own way, like during TOS, and then he shows up and he's like completely lost. And I mean, that's what would happen if you were in a pattern buffer for 30 years or whatever, but...
Well, it's also it's a kind of metatextual, and also it makes it about a story of an allegory of aging and getting, I mean, like, especially, I mean, it's even worse now, but like the rapid advancement of technology over the past 30 years, like, people who are on the cutting edge are so lost so quickly without having to jump through time. So, and I think that's what makes it good. It's centered on his feeling lost, but it can also be read multiple different ways, like a good Star Trek episode should be.
And he is the hero in the end.
Yeah, he figures out a thing that no one else would have thought of, because they didn't have the same kind of ingenuity that he has.
Right. And he taught Geordie the engineer lie, that how is that not just part of the engineering textbook, first of all?
How long is it really gonna take you? It's gonna take me that long. What? No.
You suck at that!
Yeah, so basically I feel like the message is like, although he doesn't know all the new tech, he's still a phenomenal engineer.
Yeah.
And
Give him
that transcends like knowing the specific technology.
Give that man a year with some technical journals to get caught up. He'll be fine.
That's my assumption of basically what happens after this episode.
He went straight to a library and did not leave it for a year.
Yeah.
And then Ryza.
Yeah.
Don't leave him alone with women!
Oh, no!
Speaking of men we shouldn't leave alone with women, the next one is another one Jake brought up already.
Yeah, so we have our Julian Bashir appearance.
Oh.
When he comes to...
We're going backwards, sort of.
Yeah, well, he shows
in
up.
TNG.
Yeah, but it's chronologically. If we're going like strictly chronologically,
I mean, it's probably that someone from a future show is coming.
But it's not a future show. It's
they're
concurrent.
Yeah. I didn't even think of Julian. Good call.
Because he shows up and
God, he's so weird in the episode.
Teaches Data some shit.
Asks him questions about his hair. This is definitely a little more wanky than the other ones.
Yeah, more wanky.
This was just a crossover episode. I mean, there's also it's a Worf episode.
Oh, that's right. It's part of that.
Yeah, it's all Data dreaming and Worf looking for love in all the wrong places.
I always forget
Parmak. What is it?
Parmakai?
There's an episode called Looking for Parmak
in all the wrong places. That's what I thought.
I always forget those are the same episodes because they're such absurdly unrelated and different ass plots.
Because they dropped the Data plot after part 1.
Yeah, that too. But
and the Julian appearance is literally just you guys are watching DS9 too, right? Look, you get this wacky doctor who no one should like.
It's still early days, Julian.
Honestly, they should have. If they were going to do a crossover cameo, it should have been Quark.
Well, here's the thing.
Was that a segue?
No.
Oh.
I was going to say, if anything, like, they're in engineering, it should have been O'Brien. You know? Like, because he's at least familiar.
Oh, yeah.
And they could have like, so how's things over on the station, Chief? Oh, you know, life still sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in a sense, though, we missed one then because O'Brien, because if we're saying...
Well, that's a whole different kind of thing.
But is it, though? Because Colomini was never a main cast member on TNG.
But he never came back to TNG after becoming a main character.
Yeah.
There was never a, remember O'Brien moment. Look at this other thing from another show.
They got to have that when Worf came on board.
But he's
like, oh, remember the Enterprise? Oh, how's Captain Picard?
So the requirement is that the character was already established on the other show.
Yeah, it's main characters taking little trips to other shows.
Okay.
But yeah, no, the Julian appearance, definitely wanky. If it had to be anyone, it should have been O'Brien.
I think, if I remember correctly, and I could be making this up, I feel like they were expecting it to be Dax, but Terry Farrell was busy shooting a different scene or something. This is sounding like something I may have said before.
Would have made sense because they were doing science shit, and she's
a much more likable character.
Yeah, anything but the physician, because it had nothing to do with medical anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but he took introductory engineering, which serves him well in later episodes when he's good buddies with
postganglionic nerve or whatever.
See, I thought you were segueing to when Harry Kim gets shystered by Quark.
We're nowhere near there yet. We haven't even gotten to Quark's appearance in TNG yet.
Hey, that's our next one, because this is in Firstborn.
Yeah.
And he's only on a screen, and he's just there to advance plot.
And it's wanky. Yeah,
and it's so wanky!
It's very wanky.
And it was like, hey, haha, I know you, Quark. I owe you money. Ha ha ha. It's like, yeah, okay.
Who owes Quark money?
Riker.
Of course he does.
It's also just not a great episode for it. Isn't that the one where Picard's off with the pirates?
What episode
No.
Oh.
This is the one where Worf...
Alexander
comes back and he's old.
Oh, this is that one.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I could have sworn that was... Okay.
What?
Yeah, and they figure out...
The Duras sisters are involved.
Oh, this knife is the Duras knife.
from the future.
They're like doing a little bit of a scavenger hunt of like, oh, we figured out this knife thing. We asked the Durases about it. Let's ask Quark. He's shady. He'll know.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, where Alexander comes from the future.
I totally forgot that.
Yeah,
to save himself from his dad.
And he's played by actor's name. Shit.
Don't know.
He plays so many other great characters.
He's Jetrell.
He's Jetrell.
Jeffrey Combs.
And he's Mora. And he's...
I'm not gonna get the name.
I don't know, but he plays like several of the top characters.
Okay.
Like the top guest characters.
Yeah, I can't think of the actor's name either. But...
Jeffrey Combs?
No.
How about Jeffrey Combs?
I don't know why I can't think of it. Usually I could think of it, but I can't right now. So is that the end of TNG the series?
I would say that those are all the ones that I could think of from TNG the series. But TNG also has some movies, so let's knock those out. Even though just because we're on the subject of TNG.
So we have Generations. We have Kirk, Scotty, and Chekhov that all show up.
Oh God, Kirk, and we couldn't get Nimoy or Kelly. Like so obviously.
Or Nichols.
Yeah. But like
they all said no.
Yeah.
Fuck this.
I mean, what I love too is they even like. You can tell what lines would have been McCoy's because they have Chekhov run sick bay for some reason.
Chekhov does what he wants, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I wouldn't fucking... Shatner's a pain in the ass.
And
Yeah, but Koenig and Doohan wanted a paycheck.
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna
what I
say Koenig.
We'll show up.
Koenig needs all the ham sandwiches.
Actually, oh wait a minute. Had Kelly passed by the time of Generations?
no.
No, because they would have written it that way. That's right.
Yeah, he
Not long after.
not
though, I
too
think.
long after. I want to say like 96, 95, 96.
Something.
How
Late
old?
90s.
How old was he?
Yeah,
Do we
old.
know?
Oldish.
My brain is telling me 99.
No, it had to be before that, right?
I don't remember.
That might be Doohan.
Might be Doohan.
I'm not sure. Anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I mean those cameos are fine. I guess it's part of the part of the plot of the film.
99.
Really?
He
No
was
shit?
79 years old.
Wow. So he's not even that old. Man, why did I think
79 is a good run,
earlier than that?
especially back then.
Yeah, especially he had a lot of health problems.
Well, because he probably smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day and
True
Yeah,
that.
that was
ran
how-
like a fish.
that's
He
how
did
you-
do that.
That's how you did back then.
That's what I'm saying. To make it to 79 when you've been living that kind of life.
So here's a generations question. Would it have felt wankier if they'd also gotten Spock and Uhura and Bones all on the bridge with Kirk and Chekhov and Scotty be like, oh, here's the B, lots of cameras in your face, what do y'all think?
And that whole movie's just such a mess. It's hard to say.
I think it would have been wanky. I mean, it would have been wanky. It would have been fine though. It wouldn't have been any worse than what they did.
Yeah, the movie just shouldn't have happened.
It's
the way
really
it
too
did.
bad that most of TNG's movies are bad.
I mean, honestly,
it's a shame.
It's very fan-waiting because I feel like at least in universe, like sure, Kirk is totally associated with the Enterprise in that universe, and so is Scotty.
Yeah.
And so is Spock, and probably McCoy as well.
I'd say all
But
of them.
I don't think. But I really don't think that in universe anybody knows who Chekhov is.
Poor
like,
Chekhov.
like no one like.
Well, his career probably went on after that, though.
Well, we know we
he does.
They eventually
we
named a
find-
starship after him.
I think our next one then is going to be in Nemesis. Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
Admiral Janeway.
Admiral Janeway.
Admiral Janeway shows up.
And she's also just on a screen and just there to advance plot. And,
Yeah.
and it's fairly wanky.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does make sense. It's funny, though. Like, I feel like... Because there's the whole thing in Generations where Kirk is like, don't let them promote you. I could see Janeway being like,
I'm done with this.
give me a fucking desk job.
I don't want any more.
I want coffee whenever I ask for it immediately.
But here's the thing: she got the desk job, and then she
dogs.
immediately regretted it because she
does
put
end up-
herself in command of a
She
new ship.
does end up changing her mind, but for good reason.
Yeah, because we see in Prodigy her character go on, all these different new adventures. Like, it makes sense in Prodigy.
But without
Good
giving
on
it
her.
away, I think they give her a motivation that I'm like, you know what? This might be what makes her lead the desk.
Go watch Prodigy if you haven't.
Yeah, watch fucking
Oh my
Prodigy.
god, it's so good.
Don't watch Nemesis. Nemesis
No.
is hot fucking trash.
Terrible.
Don't watch
Even
it.
though it's nice to see Janeway for the hottest of seconds.
I'm sure the clip of her is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just watch the clip.
The most unnecessary shit. God damn that movie. So we're gonna move on to Deep Space Nine.
We should do this
Quark.
faster.
No, wait.
You guys took so long
I know, all right.
rambling about Prodigy
I
in
know,
an episode where we're not
I
supposed to
know.
be talking about Prodigy.
Lightning round
Lightning round. So Deep Space Nine, we're gonna start off an emissary where we're doing the normal baton handoff thing.
with Picard.
Oh my god,
God.
it's so good.
Big
It's
baton
so
handoff.
awkward and ugly.
Okay, it's not even a
Holy shit.
handoff. It's a...
Sorry, I just
It's a
put
baton
you again.
beating.
Baton beating. I love that.
Yeah, no, that's great. I honestly, I know you had said that at some point they wanted to bring Stewart back in a later episode and it fell through. I'm kind of glad this is the only time we see them together on screen. They have the animosity. At the end, Ben's a little more chilled out, but still standoffish. It's a very daring fucking move. This show is like...
Well, especially because it's like, here's the most beloved captain of Star Trek, and here's this fucking guy we don't know who's like slagging him off
It's so
big
angry
time.
at
It's
him.
great.
And you're like, but I get why.
Oh yeah, no, it's rough.
like- it's-
Yeah, they
it's-
create a great dynamic.
Yeah.
Like, in episode fucking 1 of Deep Space Nine, they create this dynamic that is something we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And that's two captain characters, even though Sisko's not a captain yet, but two leads of
Yeah.
their shows, and how different they are, and they set it off immediately.
Yep. And thank God that, they don't give someone that same story but shitty and diluted years later.
Should
What are
we?
you talking about? Enterprise? I've lost track.
Picard season 3.
Oh, that? Okay,
Oh,
yes.
Ugh, fucking show.
Should we count Tom Riker's appearance in Defiant?
I would, because
Yeah.
Tom and Will Riker are the same
Technically
man.
the same guy.
I said this off air last week, but I just love how, the big reveal is not that the whole beard comes off, just part of it.
A strange man, Tom Riker. You're a weirdo.
That tracks, because Will Riker's a weird fucking guy. Let's be real.
It's kind of weird.
But that's
Makes
what's great
a
about
fucking
him.
terrible
I'm not sure
omelet.
about...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is an interesting question.
Are we still talking Defiant, or are you moving?
No,
Are you trying to move us on?
I'm moving us on.
Okay, one more thing about Defiant.
Yeah, that's a good episode.
Yeah, it's a good episode.
I would love to watch
What?
Nana Visitor and Will Riker fuck.
But I want to just say, like, because it's not a Will Riker story, even though, we'll have to start thinking, oh, Will's here, wank, wank, wank. But then you get this Tom Riker story that expands the Tom character, which I enjoyed.
Early M. Night work. What a
So
twist.
if we're counting Tom Riker, should we also count Mirror Tuvok?
Oh.
What?
Mirror Tuvok.
That's a good... Oh.
I did not think of that.
I guess, sort of?
I mean, it's different, though, because it's
really
mirror. Like Tom Riker literally is Will Riker.
Yeah.
Mirror Tuvok isn't
But
literally
it's still a
Tuvok.
wank.
It is still a wank.
It's still a audience, look, it's a guy to wank about.
Yeah.
Why did they never have Tuvok say we haven't found shit?
But
I'm not talking about
admittedly,
wank.
what's kind of nice about it, though, is that, like, we always talk about how, like, with the Mirror Universe, just how does all this stuff keep happening coincidentally? The one thing we know is there is no Mirror Voyager and a Mirror Delta Quadrant. That didn't happen. So at least something did happen differently. But yeah, so in a way, like, maybe it was meant to be a wank, but it's also just like, look, the Mirror Universe isn't always one-to-one. I forgot he showed up. Good call.
Cool. Good point, Jack. I did not even think of Mirror Tuvok.
When does Mirror Tuvok show up? I'm sorry.
In
one of the Mirror
I don't remember
episodes.
I
which one.
think the one where they drag Ben over, maybe?
Oh,
Yes.
that's right.
And then,
right,
and then Ben
right.
fucks Jadzia
Ooh,
and
yeah, that's
Kira
right.
and thinks about fucking Jennifer, but I don't think he does.
I mean, let's be real. He doesn't really do.
Anyway.
anyway,
That's assault, Ben.
it's the least problematic thing about that episode then. In that case, so wait, just one more thing I want to mention from Deep Space Nine before we jump forward, because we're taking longer than Jake would like. And that's Trials and Tribulations,
Oh.
in which we see the whole TOS cast. Granted, we don't bring them in
Yeah,
to,
no.
like, film new things with them.
Just file footage.
But it's
Yeah.
like, but it's still a, look at the characters you
I mean,
do.
and that episode was expressly a fan wank, as acknowledged by the creators. Like, we're doing this to wank off the
Well, yeah,
friends.
wasn't it like episode 400 or something?
It was the 30th anniversary, right?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
it.
it was an anniversary.
Oh, it's our 400th anniversary coming up. That episode.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. of.
Yeah, because it's so self-conscious of what it is. And also, again, for the time, doing what they did on a TV budget with the tech they had
Yeah, it was really good.
is fucking impressive.
It was very good.
So, I mean, the fact that they did it so well,
It is really good. It holds up really well.
Yeah.
And we're not counting Worf as
No.
a character from TNG, because it wasn't a wank. It was just a,
It
we're adding
starts
this
off
character.
as a wank, and then you're like, oh no, you're here to stay.
Yeah.
So you
I
become
love-
a main character.
I love Worf on Deep Space Nine, and I'm in season. I'm like in the middle of season 6 of
and
my
he's about to
rewatch.
break your heart,
Your what rewatch is this?
and yet you haven't watched
Yeah,
season
so
3.
before you do your next rewatch, do a Prodigy first watch.
I know. But I just rewatched the episode where Worf and Jadzia like go on the away mission, and Jadzia gets like critically injured, and Worf like blows off the mission to like save her life, and
She
like
died in that.
Which Ben gets
that
more...
would have been so much better than what fucking happens, because she gets bitched so hard, and it is such horse shit.
We've talked about this so many times, but
Yeah.
you know what we haven't talked about? When main characters show up in Voyager, which they have almost no right doing most of the time, and yet they still do.
We have
One
Caitlin,
is so
Caitlin
dumb.
brought up, we had
I like when
Quark.
Quark tries to scam Harry, and I love that Harry is going to fall for it. My sweet summer child.
That works really nicely, though, because it helps set up the Tom-Harry dynamic straight
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I love
it's actually
that.
really good.
But it's interesting because it's not. I mean, that is the baton handoff moment for Voyager.
Yeah.
But it's like so different than it's not like the Bones handoff was literally this new ship of yours is nice, and then obviously in
Got any mint juleps?
DS9 it was Picard like ordering Cisco to take his job to do the job, and this one's just Quark being an asshole.
Yeah. He's just there to be Quark.
Yeah.
And you don't want anybody from Deep Space Nine handing you a baton, because that baton is definitely Odo. You know?
Imagine if Odo got stuck in the Delta Quadrant because he was trying to catch Quark in doing some bullshit.
Oh my god, they never would have won the war.
Yeah, it's true.
Actually, no, they never.
no.
Actually, they would have, but they wouldn't have been able to cure the Founders, maybe.
Well, it depends on when they grabbed Odo.
Yeah.
They may not have ever infected the Founders.
Oh my god.
That's true.
Oh, that's a whole
Our
different...
next fanfic is what if Odo got sucked in the Delta Quadrant?
Yes, back to the fire caves. Spend so much more time in the fire caves.
Yeah, we were only there for about 5 minutes.
Back to
As
the
an
Delta
afterthought.
Quadrant, however, because we have a couple more episodes in which mains from other shows show up.
Means
Our
delicious.
next one that I wanted to bring up is in Death Wish.
Death Wish.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
Is it dumb?
It is. Like,
This is where Q brings Riker
to a
memory
trial.
wipes
to,
him.
Yeah.
to the other Q's trial for wanting to commit suicide.
Oh, yeah.
It is 100% a wank.
Oh, yeah.
Big wank.
There is a way it could have been worse, though, because I was thinking about it ahead of time. Because the whole point was, like, Will Riker's only alive because Q saved this Civil War officer.
Yeah, one of his ancestors.
It could have been worse if they had... What's Will Riker's real name? Jonathan Frakes, but playing the ancestor, like some kind of Marty McFly bullshit.
I don't think he even plays him in the photo that we
He
see
does
of his
not,
ancestors.
no.
So.
But that's
Good
the
on.
That's
one
how
way...
they should do ancestry note to Data.
Yeah, but like that... So, like, don't get me wrong, I still think it's dumb, but I was like, okay, this is the way it could have been worse. So at least I guess it was just him as Riker. But yeah, that was like, come on, guys. That's a bit silly.
We have Timeless.
We have one before that. It's the one you keep forgetting, Jake.
The one I keep forgetting.
You forgot it last time.
In what? In Voyager?
Jake was trying to name all the times that other characters show up, and he totally forgot this very obvious one.
Before Timeless.
Before Timeless. We're going to play this game again, huh? You want me to just tell you?
Yeah, just tell me.
It's Sulu in Flashback.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
Flashback,
God.
Oh,
yeah.
right, in his coffee cup.
I completely
Teacup.
forgot about that episode somehow.
Yeah.
It's a great episode. It's a great
That's
showing for
Tuvok,
Takei.
the big Tuvok episode,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's the little girl falling off the cliff over and over until I laugh a lot.
Yeah, that's a pretty good episode, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. And like Trials and Tribulations, it was done for the anniversary
Yeah,
as a way to, like, you know, acknowledge and appreciate the past in a way that makes sense. It still makes sense for their episode.
Yeah, like, it's funny. It's the wanky part didn't so much feel like bringing back everyone. The part that felt a little wanky was retconning that Tuvok had been on the Excelsior.
Yeah. We also get, I mean, not a main character necessarily, but we also get Rand in that one.
That's
Yeah,
true.
that's true.
She
She
was
was a main.
supposed to
Yeah.
be a main.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Rand. Oh, poor Grace Lee Whitney.
Oh, shit, and I totally forgot. Barkley. Barkley shows up all the time.
Well, that's not
He's
till
not
later.
a main, though.
Oh.
I was wondering if we were going to count him or not.
No.
Well,
I'm not
whatever.
gonna
He
count
shows
But
up a lot in Voyager.
we're not there yet because we have Timeless, right?
Oh, wait a bit.
Timeless has...
Which one's Timeless?
That's the one where
Old gruff Kim.
Kim and Chakotay get trapped in the future and the Voyager gets frozen in ice.
Right, and Geordi shows
And they
up.
get chased by Captain
Geordi.
Geordi.
Captain
in
Geordi.
the Rhode Island. How do I remember that?
Captain.
That's,
It's fine.
yeah, as far as, like, wanky cameos go, it's...
wanky cameo. Did it have to be Geordi?
No,
It doesn't really make a lot of sense that it's Geordi. I don't think he'd be a captain.
Yeah, I don't
It
think
didn't even make any sense that it was Geordi. There were no women for him to sexually harass in the holodeck.
Yeah, I mean, it would have made a lot more sense if it was Riker in some ship.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd established that he was on the Titan at that point. But
You know that Geordi heard about Janeway deleting that guy's wife and was like, yeah, she gets it.
or
Yeah.
Captain Data might have been cool.
No, that would've
but
been-
then they couldn't have killed him off
That's
later.
true, but then they killed him
Well, no,
off.
because this is a different
this is a fake
timeline. This whole
timeline.
timeline gets
So
erased
we can
anyway.
say, because
It could've been
Admiral
anyone.
Janeway is the one that orders Picard to go fight Shinzon. If Janeway never got
That's
back
pretty
because they
good.
crashed the ship in
Mhm.
Timeless, they never would have gone and fought Shinzon.
Yeah.
Data would still be alive. There it is.
But yeah,
It's all Janeway's fault. It's actually all Harry Kim's fault, really.
Yeah.
What else is new?
like, again, it's a case of making the universe feel kind of small. Because, like, of all the people, it just happens to be this guy we know. But,
Yeah, it's just there for the
That's just
recognition.
how it is.
yeah.
And fine.
Fuck,
They
I
do
feel
this.
like I just had a thought about someone else. Oh, Barkley doesn't count, but Marina Sirtis does.
Yeah.
She sure does.
Oh, yeah.
We see her
Definitely.
thrice in Voyager.
Yeah, we don't need to list each of the episodes.
I'm going to anyway.
Okay.
She's in Pathfinder, Lifeline, and Inside Man. She's there and she does a thing.
And in
I
every
think there's
single
also
one,
a
isn't
Brent
she?
Spiner as Data voice cameo in one of those.
There might be.
Does a voice cameo count?
I don't know.
I don't know if it was new
I mean, in that
lines or
case-
just
I
pre-recorded.
think it may have been new lines, but I'm going to mainly focus on Troy
Guys,
because
let's-
influences the plot.
We haven't named every single episode where the computer was still voiced by Majel Barrett.
True.
All of them.
Yeah, I think they kind of... What they did with her appearances in that, where they leaned into the fact that, hey, if you give her funny stuff, Marina Sirtis is pretty funny. So that was nice.
And we got to... Didn't she have a sexy bathing suit scene? Wasn't she being sexy on
that's
the
right.
beach?
That's right. When
I'm down with that.
Broccoli shows up with his zinc ox.
When he's like, I know you're on vacation, but I'm crazy. Oh my god.
What about Barkley? Yeah, no, I heard.
Oh my god, what about Barkley? And he has a goldfish and a pole around his neck. Oh my god. I'm sailing. I sailed, but it's all in the holodeck.
What about Bob?
Oh.
It's an old Bill Murray picture. Yeah.
I need a What About Barkley, like T Fury style. Somebody get on this. I gotta find someone to make that.
Yeah,
But what would he have? He wouldn't have a goldfish. What would he have? Let's think about it.
Is that the end of the Voyager?
That's the end of Voyager. Can we speed through now because I do have to pick.
There's only like
one? No, two.
Two.
Wait, what season?
We're on Enterprise now.
We're on Enterprise.
And we have
I don't think we count. I don't think we
before?
count the James Cromwell in.
No.
Yeah, doesn't count.
Yeah, so their baton handoff was not a main character.
Yeah, good point. So what are the two? I can only think of one in that case.
No, I'm telling you, there's two left we have to talk about.
Oh, okay.
One is in Enterprise, and it's the one that Chris is thinking of.
Yeah.
And it's the one that no one should think of because it's fucking trash.
That episode shouldn't exist.
I don't remember anybody
Troy and Riker in the final episode.
The series finale. The terrible series finale.
The one where they
the
kill
holodeck,
Trip.
they kill Trip.
She blocked it.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that now, where Riker's like the chef, and then he's the this and the that.
Yeah, no, fuck that episode.
Stupid.
It's trash. Hate it. Hate it.
And then...
Bro, imagine killing Trip. What the fuck, man?
And then the very last one is the biggie...
Is yet another Spock.
And yet another Spock.
More Spocks.
Leonard Nimoy in Star Trek 2009.
Oh, right. I forgot we were going up to 2009.
And he's kind of,
of course.
integral to the plot. And it's...
Yeah.
So,
it's great.
It's good.
I mean, he's... Like, Kirk is the captain, but I feel like when people think of Star Trek, I really do think that Spock is, like, that touchstone.
I think it's also just because people like Leonard Nimoy a lot more.
Yeah,
because he's not a jerk.
No.
Yeah, and also his character, like, the Spock character is interesting because it's a perspective you never think about. It's a character that a lot of people can see themselves in, and, like, the Kirk character is just your main action guy.
Yeah, and like, one thing that every Star Trek tries to have is the outsider character that he established. You know, when they've tried to remake Kirk, they keep doing Drift Kirk, and they wanted Riker to be new Kirk, and it didn't have the same vibe, so they kind of changed the character, and he got better for it, don't get me wrong. I am slightly disappointed that there was no disco handoff. They could have had 170-year-old T'Pol.
I don't know. Yeah, the thing is, like, with Discovery, that's also not quite the story that they're telling. I feel like they wouldn't do a handoff because none of the characters would make sense to show up in the pilots of Discovery.
Well, I don't know. She's a Vulcan. Michael's a Vulcan.
Yeah.
We could have seen her in the flashback or something.
The nature of the story, the best you could have done is maybe have her show up in the finale, but it wouldn't have made sense for the way they structured the first two episodes for anyone to,
Yeah, it's also, like, I feel like in Discovery, especially first season, they were trying to not wank.
Yeah.
Like, they were doing a lot of erasing of canon things. They rewrote the Klingons entirely.
Much of a clean cut as they could. Kind of like the early days of TNG, where they were like, let's try to do our own thing for a while.
Yeah, like, I think it would be grating if there were a wank moment.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Sarek.
That's
and
true.
I think he's enough, because he's not a main character, he's still himself in this show.
Yeah.
It's not there to wank about Sarek.
He doesn't show up in the premiere, though.
He's in the second half of the premiere.
Oh, right, because she calls him up
with her.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot that.
Yeah.
So I guess that kind of counts as a handoff.
Actually, no. I think in the first half she calls him on the phone.
Oh, okay. Then there is a.
And then in the second half, it's the psychic phone.
Because
the Vulcan hello.
That's how she decides to.
So I guess Sarek's kind of the
handoff.
handoff. There we go.
Okay.
If Cromwell can be a handoff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Sarek definitely can.
Yeah, that works. We're good.
Anyway, let's see about if we have more.
Speaking of
wanking next time as we revisit Star Trek Discovery in If Memory Serves.
Going to Talos 4.
Presumably we're going to Talos 4. At least that's where we left off this week. So we'll see that and more. So hopefully we see some grannies and heads. Find us on the phone, on your smartphone, and online. sshbpodcast.com, SSHB Podcast SoundCloud, on podcast.
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky and Tumblr.
Mm-hmm.
And Facebook.
Yep.
Just search for Star Zero by Podcast, which is us. Until next week, I've been Jake.
This has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
This is always Caitlin.
What annoys me is I feel like aesthetically, game shows have not moved on from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Like, everything is still these, like, early 2000s, like, dark sets, overdramatic, thumpy music. It's like, guys, it's time for a new look. This is getting fucking old.
I'm ready for Press Your Luck.
Well,
Go back to the 80s aesthetics. They were the best.
There is a Press Your Luck, isn't
yeah,
there?
but it probably
There was
sucks.
years ago.
No,
Whammy.
I mean,
there was one called
there's
Whammy,
one
and it
running-
sucked.
There's a present, Press Your
I
Luck.
think it's on the Game Show Network.
See, I think...
I missed Game Show Network. Those were the best years.
I just think, it's aesthetically it's time for either something to go back to full-on ugly 70s. Which, as I've said before, the 1970s is probably the only time in history where a guy could walk into a bar, say he's a game show host, and get laid off of that fact.
Gene Rayburn!
Oh, Gene. Gene could get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not a good-looking man.
The great thing about Match Game is it's the greatest game show of all time because it's the only game show that had open contempt for its contestants. It was like all these 70s comedians and singers and stuff just hanging out, having a good time, and then Gene would be like, I guess we'll play the fucking game with these loser normies now.
What's your fucking stupid answer? Well, that is pretty stupid. Did anybody match this fucking idiot answer?
Nope, no one's going to match this because it's stupid.
And then Brett Summers will be like, I think I might have a match. I said she goes to the beach in a bikini with her chihuahua dressed as a watermelon. Is that a match? No, Brett. She said Ford Mustang.
I mean, it helps that they were all shit-faced the entire
constantly.
time. Like, especially Brett.
They were so shit-faced that it
And
was like
Richard
a contact
Dawson.
high. We would be drunk watching the show like, holy shit.
was
I think that is a match.
There was legitimately an episode where, like, before the first commercial break, there's this random old guy in Charles Nelson Riley's spot. And they're like, oh yeah, Charlie's late. He's in traffic. And after and so it was like one of the producers was in his spot. After the first commercial break, Charles Nelson Riley is there. And it's like, yeah, in traffic was code for vomiting in the bathroom because he is still drunk.
Blackout fucked. That show is amazing.
Oh, so good.